don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only Davi Diva, Black Star Barbie, Fairly Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, cause Davi Diva Ejeleme says so. Mwah.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know what it is up on yeah, best I got this. Big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's up on Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. Dee-da-dee.
Drink in my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only Davi Diva, Black Star Barbie, Fairly Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, cause Davi Diva Ejeleme says so. Mwah.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know what it is up on yeah, best I got this. Big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's up on Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. Dee-da-dee.
Drink in my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only Davi Diva, Black Star Barbie, Fairly Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news.
My darling, guys, if I was in class, the lecturer would sack me. Welcome back to the show. Time now for Lifestyle Daily. So this morning we've been telling you that we want you to learn a thing or two about resumes or CVs. Now, before we get to that, you definitely need the foundation. And so our guest is going to be taking us back to build a good foundation. And then if we have time, we'd even go into the CV or the resume. So go ahead and introduce our guest this morning.
Yes, indeed. And I was just saying that she's been on the show before.
Yeah.
Very, very, very educative session with her all the time. Coach Ngozi Dixon. Hey. Diskin. You get people calling you Diskin.
All the time.
Coach Ngozi Dixon. She is the founder of Career Hub GH and also Career and HR Consultant. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
It feels like a class already
Yeah.
for us. We're here to learn.
Guys, get your pen and your papers, okay?
So,
I'm ready to dish it out. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Should we start off with what we're doing earlier?
I mean, in the morning, Godin was asking what exactly a resume, what's the difference, if there's any difference, resume and a CV?
Well, if you ask me, the main difference is this, in the names. One.
Right.
Right. And secondly, a CV details like your whole career journey on paper. Okay, so it's more detailed. The resume is more functional to a specific job you want to apply for. So let's say temporary jobs you want to take, you want to put together a very short, resume to apply for the job. But the CV is more detailed and more, consuming with information. It's more filled with information about your career journey.
Okay.
So in my field, in acting, if you ask for a resume, it's basically like a brief profile of you.
Exactly.
Just your name, maybe your age, and then some few things you've done in there for the people.
A few relevant things that are to the job
that you're looking for specifically.
Exactly.
All right.
And it's mostly for temporary opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not for long
and
term.
for people who are not as experienced,
But a CV would contain everything. Tell me what a CV contains.
Okay, so a CV first has to, she mentioned a very key word, relevance.
Okay.
So a CV is basically a snapshot of your career on paper, whether it's soft or, hard copy. So it's a snapshot, but you want to make sure it's relevant to what you're looking for, the opportunity you're looking for. So it's a job search tool. So it details your professional, abilities, your personality, your values, and it details, most importantly, your qualifications, your ability to get the job done. Because that is what is going to get you the opportunity or the job you're looking for.
Okay.
I see biodata in CVs a lot. Do you need your biodata in a CV?
You need
Is it needed?
You need very relevant bio. You don't need things like your age, because ageism is very real, whether subconsciously or unconsciously. Somebody could see your age and decide, oh, you're too old. I literally had that happen recently. I was doing recruitment for somebody, and they were choosing based on age, which is not is illegal.
Even when a person has qualification,
Exactly.
the right
People have all
qualification.
kinds of bias, and perceptions about age. So you don't want to put your age there, because it could consciously or unconsciously affect, the hiring decision. So you want to leave out your age. You want to leave out your hometown.
Hometown.
Yes.
I see that happening a lot too. Why do
You want to leave out your hometown, your ethnicity. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put down your photo.
But definitely your date of birth, isn't it?
No.
You don't put your date
That's
of birth.
your age then.
Yeah, right?
Not at all. You don't put down your age. With the CV, the first thing you see is the header. You want to put your name and your contact details. Even with the contact details, you don't want to put something like your residential address.
Okay.
You want to keep it to your postal address if necessary. Because now we're all, very digital. So you want to put down your postal address if you want to, your contact number. You want to make sure it's a number we can contact you on, and then your email. And then maybe your LinkedIn, if it's well optimized. If you know you're going to go on your LinkedIn and find things that are not impressive, don't put it there.
Add it.
But in today's world, we are told that as soon as you apply for a job, they go straight to your social media.
Yes.
So whether you put it there, so do you have to put it on your CV, or you leave it for the people to go and do their search?
The thing with the CV is you don't want to be the one to throw
Leading
yourself, to the wolves. But if you're actively or passively searching for a job, the thing is, why don't you do the homework? Why don't you make sure your social media is clean? Because branding is a branding tool.
Yeah.
Your CV is a branding tool. So we want to make sure that the curtains match the drapes. Once we see your CV, we go on social media to check you out. People do that even in dating. So in job search, it is done. Like people will go and check you out to make sure that what you're saying here matches with, what's out there about you. So you want to make sure that your social media says really great things about you. Yeah.
Ngozi, I can understand how age will affect maybe your hiring opportunity, how hometown can affect, but how can your residential address affect?
Okay, so you know how sometimes you've put there that you live probably in
Kaswa.
Thank you.
He would have said it though. He has this prejudice about Kaswa.
I do not.
He would have said
please.
Kaswa anyway. So
I won't live there, but I do not.
So you see, you have your answer right there. So somebody says Kaswa, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the job is probably in East Legon.
East Legon, so the person looks at
Yes. Meanwhile, this person may be such a very time-conscious person. They will literally get to work on time.
Yeah.
But because they haven't had the opportunity to prove it to you, immediately on the CV, you're like, no, toss. So you don't want to do anything on the CV that would make you enter the auto rejection pile.
what is really the difference between what's on your CV and when you go for eventually the interview, if there is one?
They say the taste of the
pudding is in the eating.
That is actually what it is. You cannot have a very glorious CV and then you enter the interview room and then you cannot speak to it. You cannot sell. You sold yourself really nicely on your CV, but here you are. You cannot defend all the pretty things you've said about yourself.
Would it be okay if they ask you about your age then, in person? You didn't.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
If you can confidently and boldly tell them that it's not in any way directly related to your ability to perform the job in a very assertive but respectful way, you can decline to answer.
Yeah.
Okay. But other things
but
that you mentioned on the
eventually
CV,
they're going to know.
They're going to know eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you could say your age, but you want to point it out to them that it has no way, of affecting or diminishing your capacity to perform.
Could you say same for where you live and where you come from? If they ask you, could you say, I don't want to say where I come from? Could you also decline that?
I mean, something like your hometown, why would they want to, base their decision to hire you on where you come from?
So you can decline that?
Yes.
But where you live, you have to say.
Well,
Why?
I mean, the thing is, when it comes to the interview room, it's all about your ability to confidently assert yourself, in a way that makes them want you. You could live in Kaswa. They say, okay, you know what? we're going to hire you, but we're going to bring you closer to work. They would want to invest in you.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that you're worth it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Now, before we even get to the resume, CV, which one that would be, what would you like to prepare us for? Is there any fundamentals you like to prepare us for before? Okay.
I think a lot of times when people want to put together their CV, they just jump into, the page and then the formatting. Yes, it's all good, but you need to understand some basics, okay? And first of all, you, the person, okay, you need to do an assessment of yourself. So I always say that you need to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, even, you know, from the beginning. And then also you need to know what your value proposition is. What do you bring to the table? You really need to understand that. And if you are in an industry and you're on a career path, or you want to grow within that industry or within a career, understand the industry well, understand the job role also really, really well. And also, if there is a company you're targeting, you cannot do without research. You need to know, it's like you wanting to know somebody, stalk them, be obsessed with them,
Right.
Get to know everything about them. Then when you do that, it will show. You know, when somebody is talking to you like they know you, you know. You know. So it's like that on your CV. When they're reading it, this person knows what we want, and they are probably the solution to our problems.
Okay.
So you want to do all of that. Then you come to the technical bits, understanding the job description really well. You cannot build your CV, especially if you're trying to apply for a job, without studying the job description, because that's like the guide, the map to, you know, the treasure box that is the job. So you want to understand what they are looking for in terms of the person specification, the kind of person they are looking for. That's why they will put there, we are looking for a result-oriented person. Yes, we are looking for somebody who has emotional intelligence. So you read it, understand it. Do I have that? If I don't have it, how can I sell myself, or how can I acquire that? So that when the interview day comes, because yes, when you write all those glorious things and you have a really good interviewer, they're going to know that everything you said was just mere words. So you want to make sure that you put in the preparation towards that. So in CV writing, you're also preparing yourself and coaching yourself for the interview.
Okay.
Let's stay there. With what you just said, a result-oriented person, someone who has human intelligence, good interpersonal relationship and all that.
Yeah.
With that, when you go for the interview, are they looking for what you have done in the past to demonstrate that you really can do this? Or it's how you said, sell yourself? Because then they've not seen it. It's what you are saying is your word. So is that what you're looking for? How you say it, or what you've done in the past, and you say, when I was working here, this is what I achieved this, I achieved that.
Okay.
And so yes, this is who I am.
Okay. So for the employer or for the recruiter, they want you to walk the talk, because talk is cheap. So the talk part is the CV. So they want to know what you've done, because, you know, the best way to predict your future behavior is to track the pattern of your past. So you want to tell them about accomplishments, things you have done, you know, initiations you have taken on, teams you've been part of, collaborations you've been on, if you have been, you know, made a big impact in the various roles you have been on. You want to talk about it. So basically, it's a very nice, you know, your bragging rights. Everything you have done, you lay it on the table in relation to the job. Yeah.
So when it comes to CV, then what they really are looking for is experience, isn't it? When it comes to CV.
Well, ideally, the employer wants somebody who can get the job done. So the assumption is that experience brings efficiency, it brings high performance. But we all know that sometimes that's not the case. So a good employer is able to spot somebody who is worth it. So sometimes it's not always about experience. Sometimes you just need to show that you are worth it. You know, they can take, they can take it, let me say, a leap of faith with you. You are worth it. And there are a lot of employers who have done that, who have taken a leap of faith with people, and they have proven them right. So it's not always about, you know, experience.
Permit me to ask again. You're a consultant, so you work with a lot of agencies and these people. What do you, if I sat in front of you and perhaps I don't have the so-called experience, what exactly would you see in me that will make you believe that this guy can do this job that we're looking for?
Okay, so I mean, I have recommended people, employers who didn't have even sometimes qualifications. Yes, based, so, sometimes, once you're doing assessments, let's say you have a criteria for assessing people, and you have somebody who has great, let's say, customer service, okay, and this person probably has a degree in marketing or a degree in administration or whatever, but then you interact with them, you realize that they don't understand the fundamentals of interpersonal skills. They don't have empathy. They don't even know what empathy is to even understand what it is. And in customer service is the bedrock. If you're in customer service, it's not about you, it's about me. You need to be able to put yourself in my shoes. And sometimes people don't need experience to have empathy. So in assessing people, you may experience somebody who doesn't have some requisite 5 years, 4 years, 6 years experience, but they built empathy through other things they have done outside of work. Maybe they volunteered somewhere, they've done some freelance somewhere,
right?
Or they have just built their personality and they have what you're looking for, but not on the job. Yeah.
Are interviews really relevant in all matters? I say this because some people really are not expressive. They can't express themselves.
Communication.
And yet they are quite good. I mean, yeah, it's exclusive to you because you're consultant and you're human resource person, so you're able to tell. But what happens to that person who was not interviewed by an expert?
Do you know something? If I had my own way, we wouldn't have to do interviews.
Right.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a lot of pressure, tension. No matter how good you are, you're still going to be on edge. So, whether you like it or not, it's one of those things, like you traveling without a visa. You cannot travel without a visa, without a passport. It's a requirement. So regardless of how tough it is for you, you may now need to go for coaching. So you may need to find somebody to help you. If you can afford it, you can pay, for, coaching, so that somebody takes you through job interview coaching, so that at least when you enter the interview room, the confidence is there with the nerves. And the truth of the matter is that all these people you're going to be sitting in front of, they've been in your shoes before. The only thing is that because it's an interview, some of them will be playing good cop, bad cop, and all of that. But they've been there before, so they understand. They are not out to get you. So all you need to do is prepare. It's okay if you get nervous, but any good interviewer will see through the nerves. Any good interviewer, trust me, will see through the nerves. But you just have to prepare. You cannot say that, well, I'm shy and I'm this, so I'm not going to prepare. You have to. A good interviewer will see through the nerves and maybe say, okay, we can take her on, but we may recommend some kind of training to help build her confidence and her presentation skills.
Does nerve affect us in any way?
Oh, it does. Really? Oh my goodness, it does.
Everybody has it.
Everybody. I was nervous about coming to sit here today.
See, even the best of the best, the finest MCs, we get on stage and we're nervous.
Yes.
So everyone has nerves. Why are employers or interviewers worried or considering a nervous person, or not considering a nervous person, rather, I should ask?
That's what, it all comes back to the level of humanity, that the interviewer has, and also the role. With some roles, you can't afford to be nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine a surgeon or somebody, an accountant, who's always jittery and nervous. No, we don't need that. We need somebody who is very assertive, who can make decisions. Your nerves can cost us a lot of money. So in certain roles, we can't have you nervous. So in certain roles, once you come in nervous, we can't help you.
This just reminded me of something and just drew something to my attention. And I know you're not a psychologist, so...
I'm actually a licensed counselor.
Look at that. So you're perfect for this conversation. Does a person's trait or personality trait play a role in being employed by an employee?
Yeah,
so whether you're choleric, you're a melancholic, does it play a role?
Yes, it does. We are all a representation of our personalities. I always say that every day we interact with different personalities. We are literally two personalities clashing together. So yes, it does. An introverted person's way of handling something may be different from an extroverted person. The way an introverted person will interpret a situation will be different from the way an extroverted person will. So as a leader or as a team member, your personality would determine how you either gel with a team or how you are like a conflict center. You know, there are some people, once they are in a team, there's always conflict because of their personality. And if you don't have an understanding of your personality and you haven't built a self-awareness to manage it, so you can control your reactions and your actions, it becomes a problem. There's nothing wrong if you're extroverted or introverted. You just need to know how it can set you back and how it can pull you forward and use it to your advantage.
And is it something an applicant should consider before, you know, looking at the job description? Is it something they should consider before applying?
Yes.
Okay.
That is why you should study the job description.
Job description
because if you're looking for a bubbly person, you know, that means you're looking for an extroverted person. And you're introverted.
But you need a job.
So why don't you practice? Why don't you, you know, there are people who are ambiverts. You know, depending on the right situations, they would, you know, do what they have to do. I hear Beyonce is, you know, introverted.
She's
you know,
right, but when she gets on stage,
you know, when she gets on stage, it's a whole ball game, you know, a different ball game altogether. So for the job, to get the job done, you can bring that bubbly person. But then again, if it gets to a point where it becomes mentally, you know, some people
draining
have
for
draining
you.
for you, then you know it's not for you.
It's not for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
How long? I've seen CVs. I've seen CVs with 6, 7 pages. And that's the expression I was looking for. How does this play a role in you being hired? Does it affect you negatively or positively? Definitely. I mean, 6, 7 pages means that you've really been around.
You're almost writing a book. Like you can put on your CV author, you know.
So you're looking for experience, so I'm giving it to you.
No, but the thing is, the ability for you to be able to compress who
is also
you
very
are,
important.
very important, and take out all the chaff. You know, so you see some CVs and some of the information on there, somebody will tell you they were class prefects in their primary school. Yes.
I want to ask you, what's the weirdest you have seen?
But that's the person's achievement. To be fair, that's leadership.
I used to write that in my CV, please. I was school prefect.
It's all well and good, but any information
leadership
that's
ability.
Like 10 years ago, like information from 10 years ago, is almost, unless it's a very stellar achievement.
Okay.
Then you can keep it there.
Stellar.
You know, something that is so outstanding, something that if you leave out, it's going to basically like diminish your value.
I'm thinking for our viewers, so for someone who hasn't had a lot of experience, they haven't been on so many jobs, but being a school prefect, one of the things that they have done, can they put it there to at least make their CV full?
Okay, so
to make it full,
yes, you know,
was there a requirement for the CV?
No, because you don't want to send a one-pager CV, right?
Ideally,
you want a one-pager CV.
I heard, I don't know if it still holds, but I know that there's this CEO, one of the biggest CEOs in the world. He has a one-page CV.
Huh?
Yes. It's about, you know, I always say this, you know, adverts, they're 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
Says it all.
And they get somebody to buy something.
Yeah.
That's what your CV is supposed to be.
That brochure one cries, no, Ding, ding, bing, bing, bing. That is done.
Exactly.
Okay, let's prepare ourselves for the job in the labor market as you're prepared. Let's go. Let's see what you have for us.
Okay, so
yes, please.
Yes, please. Maybe I should turn around too.
One of the things I always tell people when they're looking for jobs is that you want to understand the job market you're dealing with. Okay, and the people representing within that job market. Okay, so there are two key people here. We have the employer, and then we have the employee, and we have all the factors that would affect, you know, labor demand and then labor supply. So it's a marketplace, just like Kaneshi, just like Makola is. It's a marketplace where people go to get what they want. So the employers are looking for the best, and they are looking to make sure that you have value for money. And you also want to make sure that you get employed by the best, because you also want to make sure that your skills get well compensated and you are in an environment where you have your peace of mind, especially now that we are in an age of work-life balance, mental health, and all of that. So you want to make sure that you understand the labor market, the demands of the labor market. You know, during a particular time, jobs are literally not available. Okay, so you need to know so that when you're applying for jobs, you have that understanding that, okay, at this particular time, it will be difficult, but if I push through using A and B strategy, I'm likely to get it. Maybe I'll have to use networking instead of just applying and waiting for them to call me. Maybe I have to use LinkedIn. Maybe I have to use a professional group that I belong to. Still networking. Understanding all those things. Because some jobs, you're likely to find them using certain key strategies. Okay, and some jobs, you're likely to find them if you find yourself roaming in the marketplace of the labor, of the labor market, to put it that way. So it's good to understand it. You need to understand trends that are going on within your labor market. What skills are, phasing out? What skills are
becoming the on-demand?
Yeah. Exactly. You need to know. Because you cannot say that, I acquired this skill 2-3 years ago. Each day new skills are preferred. So you need to know what they are.
And this is industry-based, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, a typical example would be when some few years ago we were told to learn Microsoft Excel and Microsoft, PowerPoint and all these things. But now you have technology that could automatically do that. So then they don't need that from you because they already have a way of working with that. Okay.
And even with that, some people are very comfortable say, I know it's a given. You're going to find on every CV, MS suits, knowing it. But let's say, for example, with Excel, there is advanced Excel.
Yeah.
And it has so many functions. There's so many things you can do if you know it. I know of a time when they needed to make a recruiting decision, between two people. The one thing that stood out, that made one candidate stand out, was that, she had advanced Excel. And that was it.
Yeah.
She stated it in the CV.
Yes.
Yeah.
And during the assessment, you're going to be given the opportunity to be assessed. And during the assessment, that was when the proof of the pudding was in the eating.
Yes.
So, during the assessment, she did awesome things with her knowledge on, her knowledge in advanced Excel. And that was it. Even though the other candidate had more experience and all that, when you looked in the job description, the job hinged, the success of the job hinged on the candidate being really good in Excel. The other things you don't have, you can take care of it later.
Right. What's the job mix that you have here?
Okay, so this is just a visual representation of what the job market is like. So you see different people in the supermarkets. You know how sometimes you enter the supermarket and sometimes you just know what you want. You go to the shelf and you pick it up. Okay, and sometimes you're not too sure. You're just there. You're deciding which one to take. So all of these goods on the shelves are a representation of the different people on the job market. And the people standing there are literally the employers who would, take you on board. As you can see, there are so many people on the shelves, and we don't have many employers out there. So you need to be able to stand out. So that once I enter, I don't need somebody to tell me why. I know why. I enter and I know I want to drink water, but I want to drink Aqua Gold. So that is what you should be looking to do with yourself and your CV.
Okay.
Interesting.
You've highlighted the job seekers, you've highlighted the employer, and then the job itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with this, when you're looking for a job, your CV is not just a piece of document, okay? The job seeker is invested in something when you're putting together their CV. The employer is also looking for something, and your CV represents what you can offer, your skills, your qualifications, your experience. You also have expectations because it's like a negotiating tool for you.
Right.
The value you bring on board will cause you to be able to negotiate your compensation, your salary, and all of that. And then the employer too, you want to understand where they belong, public sector, private sector, because depending on which sector they belong, they might be different. The expectations may be different because we all know that maybe if you're looking for a job in the public sector, because it's public sector, they may be limited by certain things. When I say limited by certain things, budgets, they may not be able to. It's open. It's out there for you to know that if you're looking for a job as an administrator here, this is the range. You may not be able to negotiate it beyond that. In private sector, policies, yes. Right. You may not be able to go and negotiate that. Okay, well, I could work for you, but I would love to negotiate some flexi work so that I can come to work 3 out of the 5 days, or I can bring my children to work and all of that, because the decision making is from the top. And when I say from the top, it's they have to go through certain processes and all that. But private sector is a bit more flexible. Yes, and even with that, you want to know which industries are more flexible, which organizations are more flexible, because some people are now very open and flexible and adaptable because of the way the world of work is going. So you need to understand that, so you don't end up in an organization and you're like very stressed, but you should have known.
Yeah.
You should have known that this is what you should have expected.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these things are things that you want to know as you are putting your CV together. And every employer wants a person culture fit. Okay, every organization has a culture, the way they do things, the way they behave. So if you come in, there are people who pass the interview, they pass the CV phase, they go through the interview. They're able to, max their way through it. And then they finally get a job and they realize that the culture...
They don't fit in.
They don't fit in.
Example will be?
Example will be a culture of a lack of support, lack of transparency. Meanwhile, they told you, oh, we have an open door policy here. We don't have, we are in cubicles, open cubicles, because, but you go in and you realize that it's not like that. Work life is not prioritized. Meanwhile, you were told, that it was. You go in and you realize other things. It's not a learning culture.
Like if you have issues, you can approach the HR and all that. But
exactly.
Then you go and realize that
it's a very punitive culture. Even if you voice out a concern, you are tagged. And that can be stressful.
Religion.
Yes.
Thank you. Ethnicity.
Yeah.
You go in and realize it's a clique.
It's an ewe. It's an ewe company.
Exactly. So all those things. Culture. So yeah, it plays a very big role. So a lot of companies are looking for people who fit into their culture, so that the stress levels is reduced on both ends. So it's not like work. It's like, moving from their house to another house.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. We want that, please.
Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Okay.
Yeah. And here, as a job seeker, you want to also categorize yourself. You want to find out, are you an active job seeker? Are you a passive job seeker? Or are you exploratory, at the exploratory phase of job seeking? Why do you want to do this? Because one, rejection is real. Okay, a lot of people get really depressed when they face job rejection. So at least when you categorize yourself accordingly, you put in the work. If you are actively searching for jobs, you don't drop one CV a week and think, that's enough. Do your research and decide, okay, every week I'm going to, apply to 5 jobs. But do your research. Apply to the 5 jobs. This is how I'm going to follow up. Every week I'm going to follow up. I'm going to email somebody. I'm going to send somebody a DM via LinkedIn in a very, not in a way that would be stifling, in a very respectful manner. Maybe I'm going to go for a networking event. Whilst I go, I'm going to carry my CVs along with me. All of that. An active person is expected to do that because you're actively seeking a job and you've given yourself a timeline. Maybe within 3 months, within 6 months, you are hoping to land a job. So for such people, most of the time you find them unemployed or dissatisfied. They may be working, but they are seriously dissatisfied. So whilst they come into work, they're also printing their CVs out.
With the office printer.
Exactly. Yeah. Distributing them, and they tell you, oh, I'm going to a hospital, and they're going for a job interview, and all of that. So they're looking to kickstart their career sooner than later. And then you have the passive one. These people may not necessarily need a job at the moment. They may not be in need of it. And they may not move, but then may be willing to actually leave their present job for another job if the offer is really good. That may make them want to change their mind or consider changing the job. And then the exploratory, well, they're not actively looking, but they are keeping an eye out. And that's what we should all do. We should all be exploring and looking out for opportunities that serve our interests. So once you understand where you are in here, you know the amount of work.
Okay.
You put
Before you get to the next slide, what on your CV can show up in an application letter?
Okay, so
I'll hold on to that question and then maybe when you finish with the presentation.
Okay. All right. So one of the things I tell people when you're looking for a job, don't leave all the expectations to the employer. You also have a say. It's a two-way street. Don't leave it all to the employer. Understand what you also want so that you don't feel like somebody has, taken advantage of you. So before you go in, what are your expectations? Salary and benefits. Sometimes people undercut themselves because they haven't valued themselves. They are so desperate to get a job, so they undercut themselves. You have qualifications, you have experience, you have skills. Value it. You can go to someone, you can do your research, and then you know that, okay, based on what I bring to the table, this is the range I think I need to be compensated for. This is the value, and you should be able to justify.
Who does this valuation? An HR?
You could go to a professional, or you could do it yourself. Talk to people, do some research. I mean, you could talk to your network of friends. So for this role, what is the range in this industry? And you'll find the upper limit, the lower limit. Then you know, okay, within this range, where do I fall in?
Yeah.
And then also, you don't want to work and you're working, but you know you're not okay. Work is supposed to, keep you comfortable. So you also want to put all of that in there. Just like somebody goes to sell tomatoes and all of that. That is your work. So you need to really put in the calculations well.
Should you state that range in your CV?
No.
At an interview, should you?
Ideally, let them make you an offer.
Offer before?
Yes. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Let them make you an offer. And even if you are pushed to, state something, do a really thorough research. And you want to make sure it's
in their range.
Yes, but a bit, over the bar. But you also, what value you bring. Are going to mention something outrageous, they're going to let you go. So you want to put in the work.
Okay.
So that no matter what you put out there, they may be willing to match it. They may even be willing to give you more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have another slide, or that's?
There are others, but yes, this is a very important aspect of writing your CV.
Okay.
You have to understand that one size does not fit all. A lot of people have just that one CV, and they carry it and apply for every job. I mean, it's the worst way you can look for opportunities. You want to tailor your CV to every job that you apply for, to every industry you apply for, because the requirements are different across jobs and across industries. So in CV writing, one size does not fit all. So you have to know your employer, you have to know the industry, and you have to know the job role. Then you can tailor it to. So know the sectors. So if it is a beauty industry, what do they want? If it's a media industry, what do they want? All of these things are things you should understand. And then that will make you stand out when you're writing your CV.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the CV you send to the fashion designer can't be the same CV you're sending to the cement and construction import.
Thank you.
Doesn't it become a resume? It doesn't really?
No, it doesn't.
Because it becomes specific, isn't it?
Yes. One of the attributes of the resume is that it's specific, it's shorter. You tailor it to that role. But then the CV, you're giving us an A, B, C, D of what has brought you where you are. But you don't want to confuse.
Still quite tailor-made.
Yes,
but
you want to tailor
right?
it to them. Why you would fit in there. What you have done in the past that would make you an asset, here. One of the best ways you can do that is to study the job description.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's there. The requirements are listed in the job description.
Should your aspirations show in your CV? Your objective in life?
That's a good one.
Some people overshare.
Right.
So you don't want to make it all about you. They're not interested in me. They want you to come and tell them what impact you're going to make based on the you that you are. So you want to tailor it.
The objective must be quite tailor-made.
Yes, that will be impressive to them and make them want you.
Coach Dixon is not better like that.
It's not. I have to agree with you on this.
It's not easy at all.
It's not. But if you put in the work and you consistently do it, you don't wait till you have a job and then you're quickly, it's just like exams.
Right.
And I tell people the way you prepare for your exams,
showing your results.
Yes. And when you're looking for a job, put in that effort.
The one that's painful is C+. Do you have another slide? Is there any other slide? Okay.
Yeah.
Take note.
And one thing I always tell people is people make this mistake of once they have that CV and they get that job, that's the end. They don't keep records. So as a person who is on a journey, a career journey, you should have a journal, a career journal where you keep your accomplishments, your trainings, and all that, and constantly update your CV. You should constantly update it so that at any point in time, an opportunity comes, you are able to just hand it in for that opportunity.
Did you put your hobbies in there?
Well, yes and no. You know, sometimes when you're preparing your CV, you're literally looking for real estate, you know, on the CV. Like you said, you don't want your CV to be like 7 pages, 8 pages. So there may come a time you may have to, you know, decide what goes out. So when that time comes, you may not need it. But then again, if you've done your research and you know that, let's say, the owner of this company is an avid golfer. Why not? And you're a good... Why not?
So my hobby is...
you know, because you know that definitely in the interview room, the conversation may shift
small
towards golfing. And who wouldn't want that?
Or if it's an industry that requires somebody who's strong and active, you can put it there that you like working
Fitness,
out.
exactly.
So then it adds
Thank
to
you.
it then.
Is it okay to hire somebody like you, a coach, to help you write your CV?
Yes, it's very okay.
It's important, isn't it?
It is. I mean, some people don't see the need to invest in something like that, but it really eases, it builds your confidence, it gives you that ease, because an interview is not supposed to be so hectic. It's supposed to be just a conversation, two people just, you know, talking about something that is of interest to them. You want a job, I can get a job done. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you can get a coach.
Yeah. So I can possibly just send you a tall voice note of everything I have done, all the schools I have done, dump it on you for you to clean it up.
Yes. You send a CV, we discuss it and then
we'll put it
together.
Right.
Sweet.
Nice.
Oh, that was very educational.
Thank you.
Very, very insightful.
Thank you.
Oh, this can go on and on and on. It's a lot of it, right?
Oh,
is this the last slide?
What is the ATS?
Yes.
Please talk about this
Yeah,
briefly for us.
yes.
Okay, so the ATS, okay, so a lot of people find this thing happening to them. They send tons and tons of CVs and they never hear anything back. So in the recruitment world, in the hiring world, there is this system called the applicant tracking system. So it's an automated system. It's used for job applications. So it's a database of job applicants. So once you are looking for a job, you go to the website. They'll tell you to upload your CV, fill out a few things. The system immediately sifts through the CVs based on the job description that was given. So they match it. They rank your suitability for the role based on what you have on your CV. So if your suitability is very low, automatically you're rejected.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so even before the HR manager or whoever is going to do the next stage of shortlisting comes in, the computer, the software has shortlisted you. So if you do not have that understanding of the job search process, you're going to wait forever.
So that's like the first stage of a computer human resource manager.
Yes, the interface.
Swift it and then save it and bring you for you to now look into. Hey, there's some crazy.
So you really want to know how you can pass the ATS. And how do you do this? By making sure you build an ATS-friendly CV. Yes.
Okay.
The ATS does not like some things. Okay. The ATS does not like photos. Some ATS, yes. A lot of ATS, they don't like photos. They don't like CVs that are table. Like, you know, some CVs you look at it and there's tables everywhere, tables. No, the ATS is going to reject it. The ATS is also not friendly when it comes to certain fonts. And we can talk about fonts all day. Sometimes you see certain CVs and the fonts are like designer. I mean, some of them, can you imagine somebody writing a CV using Comic Sans?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have seen that.
You should see Comic Sans.
You know?
That's something you do with, okay.
Even the name alone is comical.
Comic.
You know, so yes. Somebody, yes, so you want to make sure you use professional fonts for your CV.
Like
example,
New Times
Calibri. Yeah, even New Times is not advised.
Really?
Yes. It's not advised.
New Times is...
You can use it, but it's not...
What fonts? This one.
This is Calibri.
Calibri
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah.
For both.
Yes, Calibri looks very neat.
Yeah.
It looks really good and clean.
Apple has Calibri.
I should.
MacBook.
Uh,
Yeah, because I'm thinking because Calibri I've seen on.
yeah, it's a very
Microsoft.
popular
font.
It's almost on every
Right, I'm trying to
Word
remember.
document. You can, yeah, should
You
be.
can also
Some
use
use
Cambria.
MacBook, so,
Anyway, my final question will be the application, which is actually the first thing they will read before they say sending your CVs. In some cases, what should your application letter look like?
One, it should look very neat. It should be readable, well formatted. And the information you want to put there, you don't want to repeat your CV.
Okay.
You just want to introduce yourself. And then
And
a
this
pitch,
introduction has what? Your name?
your name, and then your background.
Okay.
You obviously want to let them know that you're interested in the job and how you found out about the job.
Okay. And how you found out
That's
about the job?
Yes, and then also your unique selling proposition, that unique thing about you, why you think you're the person for the job. And if you can slot in an accomplishment, you can do that. And you let them know how you're going to bring that same energy, that same drive onto this role.
This thing is psychological, isn't it? It's very, very psychological.
Yeah, in
you
a
have to be
way.
smart with it.
Yeah, because you're trying to get them to choose you.
Green, break time, please.
Yeah, it's like 50 men looking for one woman.
I know.
Yeah.
Should we be, you know what, let me ask this question. Please, how could we get to learn more from you? Share with us your information. Yeah.
Okay,
so-
This will be what, your resume? You're about to read out or what? Sort of.
Please, you can follow me on social media at Career Hub, on Instagram at Career Hub. I'm also on Instagram. I'm not really active there, but I'm trying these days. So yeah, but then at Career Hub, you can follow me Facebook and then Instagram. Also, you can contact Career Hub. Can I put out?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 0240-758-529. 0240-758-529.
Okay, your LinkedIn?
Coach Dixon.
Okay.
I'm going to follow back.
All right.
Right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you
This
for
was quite
having
a lesson.
Coach
Thank you. I bet
Ngozi.
you're opening your computer now and editing your CV. Giddy, 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 giddy. I totally understand. I'll do same with Maya as well. But thank you so much, Coach
for
Dixon.
having me.
Guys, there's so much on the show. We'll go for a quick breather. We'll be back shortly.
Stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual. Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. fun,